Okay, let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 7. So this year's Apple Watch is probably most interesting for people coming from like a much older Apple Watch, like a Series 0, like the OG one, up to a Series 3, or for people that have never owned an Apple Watch before and they're interested in trying it out this year. So the two big features are the screen. It's a bigger screen, about 20% bigger than the previous generation, and the faster charging. There's a few other tweaks and updates to the device, but those are the two main ones. So let's start with the screen. This display on the Series 7 is noticeably bigger than the display on the Series 4, 5, and 6, but the biggest difference is when you compare it to one of the older ones, like the Series 7 screen versus the Series 0 through 3. That's like a 50% bump up in screen size, and for people that own one of the older devices, that's a nice draw. Now, bigger screen sizes is always nice as long as you can maintain the same kind of form factor, right? And that's what they've done here. It's fractionally bigger, like a millimeter taller than the previous generation, but it's, for all intents and purposes, the same shape and size as we've known Apple Watches to be. And with the bigger screen size, everything's just a little bit bigger. And in some cases, they've retooled the UI elements so that it's easier to tap when the buttons are a little bit larger. Everything's just better with a bigger screen. However, I will say that the benefits aren't massive. Like in some cases, like some apps, like if you're looking at the map or you're looking at photos on your phone, then yeah, a bigger screen is obviously better, right? But for the way that I use my watch, it doesn't feel like a significantly better experience. Like I felt that when the screen size increased from Series 3 to Series 4, that was more substantial. Like that felt like a practical and more usable increase in screen size. This, it's nice, but not as clutch to me. There are two new watch faces though, and one of them, the modular duo, I really like. So this face is an exclusive to Series 7. And if I'm being honest, I don't feel like it needs to be. Like, I feel like they could have fit all of the elements of this particular watch face onto a smaller screen, like a Series 4, 5, or 6 watch, but it is an exclusive to the Series 7. I just really like how everything's laid out in this modular duo face. Now there is a second exclusive face to Series 7. It's called Contour. It's the one that you see in a lot of the marketing material. And I mean, the aesthetic of it is subjective, right? Not everyone's gonna like it. It's this set of stylized numbers that go around the perimeter of the dial. But when I look at it, it feels like a tech demo. It feels like Apple only put this on Apple Watch Series 7 just so they could showcase what the larger screen could look like with the refractive glass on the side. So you can kind of see that kind of bending optical illusion of the screen. It's kind of neat, but at the same time, it's strange to me that they built a watch face with so much emphasis on perimeter detail just so they could showcase what the larger screen on Series 7 could do. It almost feels like they built that watch face just for the marketing material, just for like the videos and the pictures so people could look at that watch face, the contour design, and be like, okay, that's the new one, because the old one couldn't do that. The other thing I want to talk about, just the last thing about the screen, is that with Series 7, again, it's an exclusive feature, you get access to a QWERTY keyboard. So if you're typing a text message, or if you're inputting text on your watch, you can type on a full QWERTY keyboard. And it supports quick paths, so you can swipe around to input text a little bit quicker, and also has predictive text. But I did find some issues with it. Like, I understand that this is not like the only way to input text, right? If you're trying to respond to a message, you can use your dictation or you can use the canned messages. But if you do choose this and you want to use the QWERTY keyboard, I found it cumbersome. Like, you're very dependent on the predictive text to be able to get your message across. Like, your fingertip is big, right, compared to the size of that screen. And if you're swiping around or poking around, it's just not an accurate tool for that size of display. So you're leaning very heavily on the predictive text. And if you ever make a mistake and you want to hit that backspace button, it's really close to the send button. I feel like Apple should lower that in the UI a little bit just so it's not as easy to mispress, but you do have access to a QWERTY keyboard if you do need it in a pinch. Okay, so when it comes to the screen, I feel like it's a nice addition if you're coming from something that's really old or you're brand new to Apple Watches. The nice big screen is always a nice addition, but I don't think it's a powerful enough incentive for people to come over from like a recent Apple Watch to this one. But there is a feature on the Series 7 that I think is awesome, and it's the charging. So it charges, I believe, 30% faster than the previous generation. You have to use the included charger. So if you have one of the older, if you have an older device that's made by third party and it was designed to charge Apple Watches, having Series 7 on one of those devices, it won't charge fast. It'll charge at the original speed. But with the new charger, and I'm assuming with new devices that are going to come out for charging at a quicker rate, this thing charges, it charges at a speed that I feel changes the way that I view this device. It changes how I use the watch. So normally when it comes to my personal use, I was never able to go through the day, get some kind of workout in or some kind of like fitness tracking in while also doing a sleep tracking. off of one charge. It would always kind of die or be really low in the morning so that it would just be unusable the next day. So I feel like this faster charge rate makes it so that I can do the full day off of one faster charge. And it sounds so weird that just a little bit of increase in charge speed changes how I even view this entire product from Apple, but it does. And I feel like if you've ever been the person who's looked at Apple Watches and been like, I hate charging it frequently, or I hate charging a watch, that's why I don't want it. I do feel like it's a significant update from older models, but that's not for everyone. That's just for people like myself who are just bad at charging electronic devices. Okay, in terms of fitness, so for the past year, because I've been on Android devices, I actually haven't used my Apple Watch very much. Like I don't carry both phones frequently, so oftentimes I just didn't use my Apple Watch. And because I was sent this review unit and I was testing it out, it is a strangely powerful motivator to turn this thing on and like go into the fitness app and see your friends, right? You see like Marquez, one day he puts in, 9 million calories on a workout. It's like, God damn, like I'm sitting here eating chips. I should be doing something. And actually, I feel like that gamification of this thing is amazing. And just over the past, 5-6 days, I've worked it every single day just because I'm seeing rings across friends, colleagues, of just everyone's filling up rings. It's like, I got to do the same. I feel like I'm being lazy if I don't. Now, in terms of sleep tracking, this is just like a personal anecdotal story. I don't sleep very much. I sleep like 4 to 5 hours a night. I know I don't sleep enough. My wife tells me I don't sleep enough. My kids tell me I don't sleep enough. I don't sleep enough. But having a watch tell me, like another device telling me that, like, sleep more, it's time to sleep. It's like, I find it just more anxiety provoking. I just did not like it. I was like, okay, I know I should sleep, but I can't. I got stuff to do. I got work to deal with. It didn't help me over the past year that I've tried to use this device to improve my sleep habits. It didn't do anything. Just putting it out there for the people that are curious. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up this conversation with one last thought. So there were rumors of the Apple Watch Series 7 to have a complete redesign. There were several sources, reputable sources, including Gurman from Bloomberg and John Prosser from Front Page Tech and Ming Chi Kuo. They all thought that there would be a refresh, like a redesign for Apple Watch Series 7. And obviously it didn't come, right? That flat-faced design never came around. It was just the standard curved edge Apple Watch that we've seen for several years now. So when it first came out that this was going to be Apple Watch Series 7, I think a lot of people kind of laughed at the rumors, like, why do we even look at rumors? Why do we listen to them? Because clearly that's not what Apple Watch Series 7 was supposed to be. But this year's Apple Watch did not get an updated CPU. Like the S7 chip, it's got some updated elements to it, right? Like there's a new driver for the display. I'm sure there's other features in it that, they've updated the package, but the actual processor uses the same CPU as last year's. And that's a first for an Apple Watch. Now, there's a part of me that feels like those leaks and rumors were actually somewhat true. Like I do feel like that flat edge design thing is going to come out at some point. It just doesn't feel, something feels off. Something felt like the iterative changes that were on this year's Apple Watch, as nice as they are for older generation users, it just felt too slight to be like a proper update. And I feel like maybe next year that's the flat edge thing that we're going to be seeing. Just a theory. Okay, so that's my thoughts on Apple Watch Series 7. I'm going to be wearing this one because I switched to the iPhone this year. Those rings. I got to fill those rings. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.